Plaintiff Allison Rutledge says the defendant is her mother, and when Allison was a child, the defendant dated a man who abused Allison and even punished her by holding her head underwater. Allison suing her mother for a credit card bill. Defendant Diane Fortune says she loves her daughter, but she is completely lying because Diane never dated a man who abused Allison. Diane denies owing for the amount Allison is suing for.
Start with you.
I love my mother very much. We've been through a lot together, obviously. She's my mom. She's made poor judgment. A lot of them have affected me, good and bad. Ones that have affected me the most was when I was little, about 4 to 5. She decided to date a man who was very abusive towards me and her. She wants to go into that, she can, but I'm not going to. But there has been a time where she decided to, I don't know where she was, but he decided to discipline me. So he held my head underwater while I was in the bathtub and nearly drowned me. The only thing that saved me was the doorbell. So he had to go answer the door. So in time, I was staying with my grandma, spending some time with her. She was washing me up and she poured water over my head, and I freaked out because it reminded me of the time of what happened to me at home. So then she calmed me down and she wanted me to tell her what happened. I told her eventually, and then she talked to my mom about it. You have to make a decision. If you're going to stay with him, you can't have your daughter. If you want your daughter, you're going to have to leave him. So my mom decided me. We ended up moving in with my grandma because of that. Well, she was still sneaking him in my grandma's place, feeding him, letting him shower, sleep in the backyard and whatnot. And then let him and made him go home.
Feeding him in the backyard?
Yeah, in like my grandma's little patio area of her apartment.
I thought you meant like a dog house.
No. No.
I mean, do you describe him like he was a dog?
We might as well
so feeding him in the backyard, that makes sense. Go ahead, if what you say is true.
And so he got caught by my uncle who was coming in through that way. And he told my uncle told him to leave, told my grandma confronted my mom about it, and then after that we never saw him. We never had to deal with him or anything. There's also financial problems. One of them was she decided to overspend somehow, some way, all her money, and she left her and her family, well, our family, homeless over a year.
When?
Like 2008 maybe.
Okay. You want to give me some background, ma'am?
This is my daughter, Allison. I love her very much. I don't know where half those stories came from, but okay. She's a little irresponsible.
Is this the first time you heard about a man
yes.
dumping her head in the water
yes.
and almost drowning her?
Yes.
First time?
First
Did you ever
time.
tell your mom?
I told my grandma. My grandma talked to her about it.
Oh, okay.
No, my mom
Go
never
ahead.
talked to me about it.
What else you want me to know about?
Yes, we were homeless. It wasn't because I spent my money unwisely. Things just happened. Everybody's only 3 paychecks away from being homeless. We were homeless for a year.
Okay.
And since then, I've got my own place. I've got a full-time job.
Did she have to live with her grandmother, or?
No.
Okay, she chose to?
Yeah.
All right. Any particular reason? Did you ever find out why she chose to live with grandma?
She was just running, like she always does. She runs from things.
What was she running from? You never bothered to ask?
I figured,
Why don't you ask her now if you never bothered to ask her? Because it's important. If you see your child running from something, that meaning your child is fearful.
No, she wasn't fearful.
Oh, running as in what? Jogging? What? Getting in shape?
No. Running as in she doesn't like to deal with issues.
That's fear.
Is it really?
Absolutely. Because you're trying to get away from dealing with issues.
Okay.
So you're fearful of dealing with issues.
So she went off to my mom's and I let her.
What issues did she have that you think that she was running from instead of dealing with?
Oh gosh, she's older now. I've got to think back.
When did she run from them? What age was she?
She was 17, going on 18.
Okay. Is that when you first moved in with your grandma?
I first moved in with my dad's mom when I was 12 because I had broken my leg.
She'd gone on vacation with them and broke her leg, so I figured just leave her with grandma. Grandma's an RN.
Oh, she wasn't running. You said stay with grandma because grandma's a nurse.
That's a different grandmother. When she goes to my mom,
all right,
she's running.
but you say she stayed because she had hurt her leg.
Yeah,
and
when she was 12.
grandma was a nurse.
Yeah.
And there were obviously no nurses in the neighborhood where you lived.
Right.
Gotcha. Let's get to the credit card you're suing her for.
In August of 2009, me and my mom discussed her using my credit card. I didn't really want to, but I let her anyways because it's my mom. I love her. So
How
I let her
much?
use $1,407.
All right, and you have the paperwork. Ma'am, she says you failed to pay $1,407 in credit card bills.
I have a bank statement here showing that I have paid $1,385 to her. And I
Why
have no-
only $1,385?
Because that's what they told me that they needed, so I transferred it into their account.
Did you know about this?
That is also towards my husband for my husband's debt that she borrowed. If he can discuss it more if you want to talk to him.
You had it transferred where?
To their account, from
It
my
was-
bank to their bank.
You wanted to say something? State your name.
Jerry Rutledge.
What do you want me to know?
The $1,385 was actually toward a debt that Diane owed me at the time.
Toward what?
Over the course of knowing her for about 3 years in total, she asked me on several occasions to let her borrow money or to make payments for her toward either hotel stays, storage units.
About how many times?
More to count. I'd say easily in the 20s.
20 times.
Yeah.
She get how much from you?
Charges anywhere from letting her borrow $20 that she said was to feed the children, $270 to pay for hotel stays.
Okay. You have something specific you can show me?
Yes, I have
Ma'am?
transactions printed out.
They say that the monies you sent were in payment of monies you owed this gentleman for over a 3-year period of borrowing money from him.
Okay, well, they're not telling you that I also gave him $1,500 the year before. I just don't have anything on me
Is that
right
true?
now.
Yes, she did give me $1,500. $1,000 of the $1,500 was to pay partial of the debt. So
But
she
I
owed
thought that was the end of it.
$2,385. $1,000 was to pay partial for that. The other $500 was to pay over recent transactions, printing out birth certificates for her, which she said she was going to repay. Cell phones, which she was placed under my plan, which needed to be paid for activation fees, and the prices for the cell phone that I fronted her the money for.
Okay, so the money she owed prior to the credit card was $2,500. Is that what you said, a total of?
$2,385.
And she paid you
$1,000 in 2010 and $1,385 in 2011.
all right. Wouldn't that mean she's paid you in full?
Yes, she's paid me in full. She has not paid her daughter off.
That's what I thought. That's what I didn't know what I was paying $1,385 for. He just came over and says I need
Okay,
$1,385.
but you do admit you owe both the money he gave you and the credit card bill. Is that what you're saying?
I didn't know what it was for.
All right, but you knew
gave it
that
to
you
them.
owed both. You knew that you
No,
owed
I
the
didn't know.
credit card.
I still owed him money. I knew I owed her money. There's the
You didn't know
difference.
whether you had paid the man off
Because
or
I
not.
already paid him $1,000. I said, "Are we good?" He goes, "Yeah."
You said you didn't know what the money was for, ma'am.
But when I paid the $1,385 this year, I didn't know that it was going to his credit card. I thought it was going towards them.
No, let me remind you of what you just said. You said, I didn't know what the money was going
I did it at the time when I paid
And how
it.
are you now specifying that it went toward a credit card? You all right? Don't roll your eyes at me.
I'm not rolling
Get
your
out of
eyes at
here.
me.
Judgment for the plaintiff. That's how you disrespect someone when they disrespect you.
Okay, thank you.
She got me all teary-eyed.
I love you.
I love you too.
I want to go home now.
Okay,
I'm going home.
have a good flight.
You too.